know what it is. We're gonna get over here. We're gonna get into damn, Coco is like, what just happened? Ah, she
She's
slid through the
been
door today.
smackledorfed.
Nah, not at all. She slid through the door like got me fucked up. Anyway,
Thought you was about to leave
so
me
you
again.
already know what it is. We just went over that hip hop news, that real talk. You know what I'm saying? A few things. We was just catching that. You know, now we back in, man. It's 2022. This shit
It's
crazy.
2022, part two.
2022.
It's really we've never left 2020. It's just the outer limits type shit going on here. Anyway, yeah, we got from the end of last year to the beginning of this year, we got Russia fucking with people. Uh, you know, Russia-Ukraine war has been going on since 2014. They had a buildup of like 100,000 troops or something, just kind of posturing, which happened. That happened in 2014 too. I thought we were definitely going to go to war with Russia, and nothing happened. So it happened again, and President Biden just kind of looked at him and made a phone call, and that was kind of the end of it. Um, but I mean, they're posturing and they're poking around to see what's going on, to see how the West will respond, and that's kind of what's going on over there. Meanwhile, Kazakhstan kind of got hot for a moment, and Russian troops actually made entry into that country, which is more or less just another kind of Russian area, and they had riots and some. Uh, they, you could argue if it was a mini insurrection or something, but the populace took up arms to protest and do things, and the Russians came in and shut that shit right down. So that's all your Russian news for the day.
Wow.
Meanwhile, NFTs have been popping up all over the place, and they're horrible for the environment, and everybody hates them, at least gamers. Like,
Yes. So explain what that is, because I know you had Googled it to put it in like wiki words, for dummies. I need to for dummies right now because I've been hearing about this NFT shit, but even I don't fully grasp the concept. I mean, I get that it's virtual currency, but that's
well, it's
about
it's
the
it's
extent.
virtual ownership. So, like, if I was to, this is a very, very kind of bare bones, off the top uh, explanation of it. So, they are
Yeah, I want to
it
Google
stands
that
for
information.
non-fungible tokens, and they're fungible
Non-fundable
tokens.
token.
It's something with blockchains, and that's another word that's been kind of popping up all over the place. Nobody knows what the shit really
What the
means.
fuck it means?
Nobody, yeah, that's the big issue is that no one knows what this actually fucking means. But in practice, it's supposed to be like, hey, I drew this picture. You can own it, and you can say you own it. So instead of rather for selling, right? As opposed to if I just drew it and made it and put it on the internet, it's like okay, no one, I own it because I made it, but it's like it doesn't really have any monetary value. Um, but digital art is a thing. So when you commission somebody to do something, or when somebody does something and they say, hey, I want to use this for money, with everything like the metaverse and stuff, everything's becoming hyper connected. Oh, did the game end? What happened? Uh, the game's ending.
Okay.
Oh snap! We was in there for
Okay.
119 minutes. um, so yeah, it's supposed to be like, hey, if you use this piece of art or something in this piece of media, a commercial or otherwise, that person might be paid for it. I think that's supposed to be how it works in practice. But the reality is it's detrimental to the environment because it just takes so much to it takes a lot of energy to mine this non-existent currency the same way that Bitcoin does and other currency does, but it's apparently worse. Uh, at least cryptocurrency makes sense. It's kind of the next evolution of money, right? Just fuck the governments.
Right.
Is money. Here's money. You want money, money. But I think we're in a public lobby. But with NFTs, they're supposed to be very specific, and each company can make their own NFT. Each group of organizations can do their own thing, and so what's happening here is video game companies are doing it, studios are doing it, a bunch of people are doing it, and it's wrecking the environment, which makes the people who most benefit from it, artists, and making them upset. And it's making gamers upset specifically because all these companies are trying to port it over into games, and they don't understand what it is or how it works or why it would be beneficial to all gamers of all types and yada yada yada.
And that's what I'm confused about is the wrecking the environment part. It's like I heard that people are using so much electricity
to mine them, yeah.
But,
the same way you would with Bitcoin.
Right, but I don't understand the difference between you running up an electric bill because, like, for what? You running up an electric bill because you just want to be on the internet all day, or you just want to be on video games all
The
day.
computing power.
Like, what's
instead
the
of
difference?
instead of just one computer doing that, think of a warehouse full of them only to mine some cryptocurrency.
Yeah, okay, so I don't know how we got in here with all these people. How is it 1 versus 1 if there are 50 people
here
in here also
Don't
that I did
know.
not say that I want to play with? And so if I die like 4 times, I don't want to play this anymore. Because we didn't invite these people.
Wow.
Like, this was supposed to be private for a reason. I want to go back to being multicultural.
Yeah, my appearance is
What happened?
random.
I accidentally walked through the ball and it changed my color.
Run! Oh no! Where can I run?
People are getting violent.
Yep.
Oh, you can't move?
It wasn't letting me run for a minute.
No, I don't want to fight anybody. I don't want to fight anybody at all. I want to live here. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. I didn't come here for this. I didn't come here by choice at all.
Yeah, but now you can check out everybody's cool kids.
I am trying to figure out how to leave the game. Can't even figure it out.
Press start and...
What's good? What's good? You know what it is. We are back for
Blood.
part 2. Wow. Yes, we are back for Blood. Yeah. Part 2 of 2022. Well, really the 2021 Welcome to 2022 wrap up.
Recap.
Unfortunately, we had some
Technical difficulties.
some major technical difficulties.
Twitch let us down. It's alright though.
Twitch let us down. So yeah, we basically recorded like a whole part of the episode, and you will never hear it, and neither will we. You know, we're just gonna go ahead and like cut in some audio really quickly and explain the topic that you're about to hear us passionately burst into conversation about. Do you want to talk about it? You know, specifically, you remember who specifically is coming out with this game?
It's so it started with what's the studio name? It'll come back to me, but the developers of Ready or Not, the story was, because we were talking about video game news, they had which is old at this point, they had got dropped from their publisher, which I think is Team 17, because of their decision to include a mission that's going to be about rescuing. It's a tactical situation for a school shooting. There's no real easy way to say it.
Okay, I was about to say, Ready or Not Studio
Void
has planned
Void.
school shooting.
Void is the studio, and then
It says Ready or Not Studio.
yeah, the studio the studio's not Ready or Not. Void Interactive, I think, is the studio. Team 17
Yes.
is the publisher.
Well, you didn't let me finish. Ready or Not Studio says planned school shooting level did not cause split with publisher. Did it not really? I don't know.
They
That's-
disagreed.
That's
with it.
what PC Gamer is saying.
Yeah.
Void Interactive announced that it was parting ways with publisher Team 17.
I was right.
And this is December 23rd news, so, you know.
Relatively news.
Gamer news.
So we were talking about that before it cut out, and the gist of it was they were going to include that, and I was talking about we have our disagreements and stuff.
You know it.
And I was talking about the medium in which movies and video games exist. Movies, video games, and animation. They exist. And so while art. Yeah.
Imitating life.
Yeah. While I don't agree that this should be a thing, if they're going to do it, it should be handled with the utmost care. And a game like Ready or Not, which is supposed to be the spiritual successor to the SWAT series, which is about saving lives, and I want to reiterate again that it's not about being a hero. None of this stuff is about being a hero and living that fantasy. It's just, trying to save lives or trying to. It's exploring a situation. It's the human experience, and so. I really don't want to say anything about being heroics, because the heroes, as you'll hear as we kind of punch back into the episode, the heroes are the ones who are actually there, regardless of your feelings about law enforcement or your school and how much you hate that one teacher. None of these people deserve to have their lives taken, and so, I won't disrespect them by saying it's a game where you're a hero and you get to save lives by being a cop. I won't say that. But
basically paying respects to all the people involved in real school shootings who really were heroes, who really did die trying to do the right thing.
Right. So the game explores that, and it's going to open up Pandora's box.
Yeah.
The same way that
I don't like it.
The same way that, the way we can kind of joke about 9/11 now, having been 20 years later, and people who were never born will read about it in history books, and it's a whole
and really not understand the capacity.
Anything, yeah, in which everything is changed.
Capacity, bro.
In which the whole world changed, because it wasn't just us; it was the whole world.
Yeah, it only happened. It only happened in New York.
Yeah. Well, no, New York, Philadelphia, and DC.
Yeah, New York, and I don't know what happened in Philadelphia.
Pennsylvania and DC. The plane crashed. The one that was supposed to go to DC. The passengers took over, hit it, and slammed into the ground. The one that hit the Pentagon was meant for the Pentagon or the White House, and then the other two planes that hit. Yeah. So the way we can talk about it now and it not be a scathing reminder, I
don't know. I feel like it still is.
It is, because we lived it, and we knew people who were. Yeah, right. We were there. We remember. It's one of those things that So this whole episode is about recapping where we've been, and so we remember where we were when we got the call about our one of our co-hosts passing. I remember where I was, and I was a kid when this happened. We have an episode on that. Go listen to it. I remember where I was on 9/11. Yeah, I remember where I was. I was a child, and I remember exactly where I was
and what I was doing. And I didn't even take it seriously at the time. I didn't understand the level of seriousness at the time when I heard about it. And I think that's part of what got cut out, was me saying, like, it's just really not to be taken lightly.
Yeah.
And that's what my worry and my concern is, because I literally made the comparison to say, well, if you're going to reenact school shootings, let's make a game that reenact 9/11.
But
and
people already do that.
What game is that?
There's not a game built on
that has a level.
None really.
Reenacted, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you're taking delicate, very delicate subjects, and when you talk about terrorism, I mean, there are games, military games about you're the terrorist and we're trying to stop you.
Most of those
it's so desensitizing, and I feel like it's a lot of people playing the game and they don't even understand. They really don't understand. I mean, it's hard to even try to fathom if you are not really in the military and you're playing military style games. It's really hard to fathom being in the mindset. And that was another thing, I may have brought up about the desensitization in our nation with our children and violence. And that was my biggest concern, was that we all know, I mean, who really goes to GameStops? The very few that are left, or any physical game stores anymore. I remember when I tried to buy a game or a CD when I was young, and they was like, it's rated R, you better send your mother up here to get it.
Black. That was black for me.
Now, you could just give your kids some points or hook up a PayPal card or whatever. Buy them one of those gift cards for Xbox or PlayStation, and they can literally buy a mature game without any supervision and play the game. And so that was another part of my concern is, kids. It's the desensitization. It's the not really understanding how serious this subject is. And, like Mobius tried to say, we could be just make it tasteful. I feel like some things, it's really hard to make a terroristic event, a real life event that took place, in a tasteful manner, knowing we don't really have control over the situation.
Right.
We don't have control over the kid that sees it and is like, ooh, I like this, I want to try it. Versus the 18, 19, 20-year-old cop in training, firefighter, teacher, like the people who could actually learn from it, or that was in that situation, or whatever the case is. It's like, I just don't see any positive benefit in turning such a serious event into a game. I feel like once you make it a game, you're downplaying the seriousness of all those people who died. Rest in peace at Columbine, rest in peace with Virginia Tech. Like, it has happened so many times over and continues to happen. And it's just like, I mean, it's not even something we could say, oh, it's the thing of the past, it died down. Like,
nope.
The thing with 9/11, that happened like
20 years ago.
One time, and since we've had all types of shit happen. The situation with the what was a marathon?
Yeah, the Boston Marathon.
Yeah, the situation with the marathon, like,
which they made a movie about.
It's it's similar at different events, but it's not like the same thing continues to happen. This is something that's happening all over the United States and continues to happen, and we have not resolved or fixed it.
It started happening in other countries. The Russians had a couple recently within the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So before that, because I don't want to get too down in the dumps on it. Context and access, I feel like, are two very important things. With the contextual side of things, this game, just like the SWAT series, just like the original Medal of Honor series, and earlier Call of Duties, some of them reenact historical events, some of them reenact or kind of make stuff up. Some of them are based on things that have actually happened. All those games took for the most part great care to tell a story, either based on something that happened or something that actually happened. In the case of what game was that? Six Days in Fallujah. That game actually got canceled almost 10 years ago because it was telling the story of the Marines who were in Fallujah, and now it's back because there's a demand for the truth, and it's telling stories. That's one game I think that can do it, just like Ready or Not. They didn't just take We fought in World War II. We took the surviving Japanese people who are now our allies, and then told the story, and then they can kind of whitewash it. They took people who were there, like regular civilians, people who got captured, people who were the Marines who served there. They took all that and said, hey, this was a shitty situation, and your story deserves to be told, but not just on the Discovery Channel or something. People are gonna play this game, but we want to. That's the media now. People consume knowledge and media through video games. So we're gonna tell your story. We're gonna tell the complete story, and we're gonna do it through this game. And a bunch of people who were there, well, not a bunch, but a number of people who were there got to come in and tell their story
Had
via the
influence
game.
over the creation.
Yeah. Now, of course, there's going to be that's still there's the concern because it's not out yet. There's a concern that it's going to be blah blah America, fuck yeah, blah blah blah, and it's just going to kind of go kind of balls to the wall with that, and then talk about and then talk about this stuff. But because of who the civilians and the enemy combatants involved that are now telling their story and stuff, there was some concern that it might garner, because we were still at war at the time, that it might garner sympathy for the people involved over there. This is Fallujah. This is like 2006 or so, and that game was supposed to come out in like 2008, 9, 10 or something, and it got canceled, and now it's back. And we were still at war when they announced it was coming back. We were still at war. Now we're not. So there's this huge vacuum of knowledge that people crave, because not only did we leave Afghanistan in a messed up situation, we left doing things that we said we would never do, and we did it again, just like in Vietnam. So history, context, and the audience. So talking about the audience now, America's Army is a game specifically made for the U.S. military. It's, of course, used to recruit kids and all that stuff like that. Yeah, sure. But games like, I shouldn't have been playing them, but games like Rainbow Six, which is a tactical shooter, games like Ghost Recon, games like Ready or Not, which is, a new exception to this stuff, but historically with the SWAT series, these were mainly played by mature audiences. It's like watching anime at midnight. All the kids are asleep. Except us, because we're knuckleheads. But all the kids are asleep. So you're watching Inuyasha, you're watching Dragon Ball Z. You're watching this stuff that people our age shouldn't have been watching. We turned out okay. So on some level, yes, there is, and she's shaking her head, there is a huge level. There's a level of desensitization.
It's even more fucked up than it was when we were young.
Yes, it is. But there is a level of desensitization. I recognize that. But I also trust the audience, the older audience, the people I played with when I was, still trying to do the law enforcement thing. These are people. It's preparing them for the next generation of reality.
School shooters.
One of which these. But you want to see. It's one thing to go to a school assembly and talk to a cop, and he's like, yeah, you get to hang out with dogs and fly helicopters and stuff, and no one's actually telling you what it's like to pick up a dead body, not a school shooting, but just go to a scene and there's somebody got hit by a car. What does that look like? How does it make you feel? This game's gonna explore themes like that, and it's gonna be up to you, to the player, to go, let's keep this from happening. But again, you're not trying to be a hero, you're just trying to save lives. Anybody can be a cop. It doesn't mean they're a hero.
Let's keep this from happening is gonna happen. I feel like the desensitization of seeing people get shot, children, and that's even, I didn't even touch on that part. If you're talking about a school shooting, are we talking about college age kids that are like at least 18 and up? Are we talking about real live watching children get murdered? Because in video games, most video games, I can't think of any video games, they're killing kids. I can't think of a game where there are kids shooting other kids. Now, I came up with that video game, and it wasn't even kids shooting kids, it was kids shooting adults. The game that I wrote when I was a fucking preteen, and I think it was a great idea. But I'm not sure as far as the existence of kids shooting kids. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. It's a very dangerous, touchy subject. So.
Yeah, that's the one thing I would have to see what they do with that. Like if it's probably going to be college, or maybe they never show any bodies per se, but the evidence. No.
How could you do a school shooting?
College.
Without, I know. I mean, other than Virginia.
Yeah.
I mean, Virginia Tech situation. I'm saying, how could you do a school shooting without bodies? That's all I'm saying. Without bodies.
Yeah, but no. If I look back, if I'm thinking back to the trailer, there was a kid in one of the trailers that you failed to rescue.
I don't know. Void Interactive and Radio 9 Studios has some quotes here that I've read, and basically Void is saying we're here to push the envelope, and touch on subjects that people may be afraid to address, and
it starts a conversation.
It sounds cool.
Spec Ops Salon.
But is it though? Anyway, we about to cut you into our previous conversation on the subject. We ain't gonna drag it on too long because we definitely spent like 30 minutes initially talking about this because I was so completely outraged by Mobius being like, oh yeah, no, it's totally cool. So anyway, hit us on the Instagram. You already know. Let us know. This is a really touchy subject. You know, if you got kids, if you remember Virginia Tech, if you remember Columbine, definitely get on our Instagram. Unknown, period, unknowns. Instead of an O, it's a 0. Instead of an S, it's a 5. Hit us on our Instagram and let us know what you think about this episode or this topic or how it made you feel, man. Or follow us on Twitch, ShadyakaCartier, Unknown Unknowns. You know, just let us know how you feel about it. Hit us on the YouTube. You already know. My screen.
It might be lag because I had something happen.
I'm reestablishing connectivity,
but
no. Anyway, it's not about your fault. You didn't create the fucking game. I'm just saying that shit is sick. Like that shit is sick. There's certain subjects that should be protected because as soon as we remove discretion, we're just using it. It's just like, I don't know. It's just like saying, let's make a game. I mean, the games that they already got out right now that are not fucking games. The role-playing games of, oh, you got a boyfriend. Oh, he got you pregnant. Oh, you got to make a decision. These is not games. This is, huh?
What, The Sims?
No, I'm talking about these stupid ass, they like cell phone role-playing games where they tell you, I mean, of course, The Sims, I do agree.
Again,
but that's why they don't show you, that's why they don't show you when The Sims is in the bed, and it just says woohoo. Like, you're not seeing any body parts. That's different.
It's implied.
On Saints Row, it's implied, which is different from on Saints Row, where you could take all the clothes off your fucking character, and I was playing with other little kids who think that shit is funny to have a big-breasted, naked-ass lady to play with. I'm not going to play with you. You're a fucking minor, and this shit is not funny to me. It's not funny to me.
Again.
Playing with an adult is still not funny, but okay, you're a fucking adult. The fact that it's available to a child, like, that's the difference. When you say The Sims, it's implied that they're having sex, but there's no word that says sex. It says, do you want to make a baby or do you want to woohoo? Like, I get it, and I'm not with it. And even the missions that says, like, sleep with 10 different Sims, like, that makes it, this game is no longer for fucking kids. There's a difference between that and...
in all those cases...
I mean, violence and sex. And those are two
they go hand in hand.
Things. They go absolutely hand in hand. And so I'm just saying, if we're already pushing the envelope with the LGBTQ, like, this is what's next. I feel like the violence definitely pushed the envelope first. Because they said, there was like some type of statistic that said that children see, or the average American sees, like, 6 million or 6 billion, like, acts of violence, via TV
via media.
before they turn the age.
Yeah.
Via media before they turn the age of 18.
Yeah.
Like the I can't say it. Say it for me.
Desensitized. Becoming desensitized.
Sensitization
Yeah.
is fucking real, and that's all I'm saying. Is like being okay with it is contributing more and more. I can't go back in time and stop what's already out there and acceptable,
Right.
which is them having sex in video games.
Okay.
And
Because we're spending
children
too much
playing
time
them and
on
saying that
this.
it's okay.
We got one more game.
Okay, fine.
But I want to reiterate: one is meant for the mass consumption of people, and they're hiding it, and the other is specifically meant for adults to be consumed by adults, people who have jobs and can make decisions for themselves. Specifically, of that niche, it's meant for people in the first responder community or people who just like that sort of game. Kids will get a hold of it, of course, but again, it's your job as the parent to make sure that doesn't happen. So you can't blame me for buying this game that's discussing in a very important subject matter that's important to the U.S. specifically, because we're the country that has these problems with school shooters, right? You can't. I mean, who's to say? And I want to end with this: all the people who are imitating these school shooters, if one of them were to play this game in which they're trying to be the person saving the lives, what's to stop that person from growing up to instead save lives instead of be the school shooter? What if this mature game it empathizes with them on a level that makes them go, you know what? Okay, maybe I won't shoot at the school. I actually want to save lives because the game resonates. You say that, but again, anyway. So
No, I hear
I'm
your
gonna
point.
I'm gonna end on that, and then because we haven't referenced it in a while, Spec Ops: The Line. Anyway, so moving on. Battlefield 2042 is
I
still
was
in the
waiting
news.
for you to bring that game up.
Hey, it changed me a lot, man. Not in a way that I was like messed up and wanted to shoot people or anything, but just the way you think about stuff, the way you empathize with characters on screen, the way we imitate characters in movies and TV shows because they're cool. Everybody's quoting Arnold Schwarzenegger out of the back. Everybody's quoting Luke Skywalker. Games do that too. And so when you play these characters and you can see them react to things in real time, you react too. And it changed your perspective because you're not disconnected going, oh man, that sucked when I wanted the hero to live. I wanted the black guy in Dawn of the Dead to live, and they fly away with the helicopter. You wanted that. In the original screenplay, they all died. Like this, and they changed it. They reshot that scene because it was too depressing. Like in games, the same thing happened. You make these decisions happen. You drive the story forward. Some of which is choice based, where you can choose something to happen, and some of it's just out of your control. Things happen, but you see what's happening in real time, and you relate to these characters. And so, for me, it was Spec Ops: The Line. It changed the way I thought about a lot of games and the context surrounding them. So.
I mean, and I do like the games that bring that. It definitely fucks with you, and it makes you think twice about the decisions you're making in a fucking game.
Which is why I
and
said, don't be a hero.
Crazy.
I specifically didn't want to use the phrase "be a hero." It makes you want to do good. It makes you want to save lives, and anybody can save lives. A lot of these victims are teachers and other students who have died, and they made the ultimate choice to hold the line. Those guys are heroes, and they paid the price. Their time is done. But to people who will wake up tomorrow to the next school shooting, in a game like that, even though they're not supposed to, even though they're not supposed to even know about this game because it's not for them. But these people who will end up inevitably playing this game will see that.
So you think they should have a game reenacting 9/11?
Should? No. That's the baitest question you've ever asked me. Should? No.
Yeah, I'm baiting the shit out your ass because you talk about reenacting school shootings is totally cool.
I'm not saying it's cool.
Reenacting blowing up the fucking.
I'm saying it's happened,
totally cool.
And it's going to happen now.
It's totally cool.
And I'm okay with it. I don't think it's cool. I think it should be done with taste.
So the question, rephrase the question for Congress. So you think that it's acceptable?
Yes. as long as it's done tastefully.
Man.
And that's the problem. A lot of
Ain't
people
no
can't handle
fucking
it.
tastefully. As soon as you turn something detrimental into entertainment, the tastefulness is out the fucking
I would
window.
compare
That's
this
what I
game
think.
to art more so than entertainment.
See, you using that evil
Yep,
ass
yep.
word that
So moving
allows
on.
pedophilia
Yeah,
in
yeah,
pornography to
yeah.
be acceptable.
All right,
Yep,
so
next subject.
Battlefield 2042 is an absolute shit show, and
Ew.
so it's in the news almost every day this week and the last several weeks.
For what?
Steam issues refunds for Battlefield 2042 as the player count plummets. 2042 cancels rush mode despite outrageous amounts of fan, pleas to keep it in the game. It says 12 hours ago they bought it back because people were leaving the game in such numbers. Battlefield players are obsessed with 2042's shrinking player count as they reach near unprecedented levels. Near Battlefield 1's number, a game that came out several years ago. And then this came out 10 hours ago from Games Radar. Battlefield 2042 cheats maker, so this organization that produces cheats for games, they turn them off because the game is dying. That's amazing.
So everybody is stopping playing the game
Mm-hmm.
because it's glitching?
No. These guys make cheats for games, for all games, and they're stopping supporting for the cheats because the game won't run properly. The game's so broken that they can't even cheat on it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
No. But I'm saying, hold on. The first part of what you said is people walking away from the game in large numbers because it's too many glitches
because
or
it's
because they mad they can't play with cheats.
no, they're upset because it's just broken. No, it's so
I'm
featureless.
saying glitching and you saying broken. What are you saying?
For every aspect of the game. Like glitches is like I keep falling through the map or this menu's not working right. I'm saying broken is that
Or losing my
or
gun.
losing my gun.
My hand
Yeah,
disappeared.
I'm talking
Fuck.
about
You
issues
talking about
such as
Black Ops?
like
No, we're talking about
not
Battlefield.
loading into the game at all, or when you do an update, it literally deletes your save data, or what's a major issue that's happening? The basic fundamental of any first-person shooter is to have good gunplay, and when you shoot somebody, like me and you, we've been shooting each other for like 2 hours now. That's an experience that while I don't find this game particularly exciting, it works. I can point at you, I can shoot. That's something that's not guaranteed in that game, and they've been around for the company's been around for a very long time making games about shooting people. You can't even get that right. So when I say broken, I mean like
So what are we talking about? Another fucking
Cyberpunk.
what's that?
Cyberpunk. Yeah, very much. Of course.
Cyberpunk.
Another Cyberpunk. They knew it was.
They didn't
They
finish the
knew it was
game.
in the
Because I
state.
thought the game came out last year. We was talking about the game.
I was told, yeah, both of these games came out last year, but this is stuff that's happening.
Fucked up.
It's so broken that the people who cheat at the game are like, this game is so fucked up, we can't even cheat. Fuck this game, and they turned off the port. So there won't be any more cheats for this game because it's already just so fucked. So bad.
All the cheaters in the
There's right now, as of 15 hours ago, at the time of writing, Battlefield 5 has nearly 13,000 players to Battlefield 2042 from 4,800. The game that came out and sold,
1,000 for 14.
no, 4,800. Thousands, hundreds.
Wait, from 1,000 to 100?
Yeah. Battlefield 5, the game that came out previously, years ago, has 13,000 players. Tens of thousands of players. Battlefield 2042, which came out several months ago, has 4,800 players. 4,800. That's insane. That's an insane rate of Elite. Even Cyberpunk had millions of sales at that time. Battlefield beta came out, people immediately canceled pre-orders and did not have a great time. So that's that's Battlefield news. It's so bad that even Steam, who's the retail who sells games online at awesome prices, they started refunding people even after their grace period was over. You know, that's crazy. But I'm gonna come back in there and give this to you now.
I don't want to know more. I'm done. Thank you for joining us on the motherfucking. We just got into a heated discussion. I'm very upset. On unknown, unmotherfucking knowns. What? What's left? Who cares? Oh. Whatever, man. Hurry up. Alright, so I was trying to end it because we are over by 30 minutes. Shout out to two rest in peace we forgot. I don't really care much for the Betty White situation. I mean, she was old, so it's like, okay, when were you gonna die anyway? But like, I know she was influential positively in the brown community, because she was responsible for a lot of the narratives on Golden Girls. And I did see at one point they did bring, the whole racist situation up on the show, about how, you can be racist without knowing it and you can support other races without knowing it. And I don't know if it was Don Cheadle or a guy that looked like Don Cheadle, but he was on the episode. It was her boyfriend, and it was like a whole thing where she supported a guy in the place where she grew up at, and I think it was the Dixie flag was the issue. He helped her understand how much hate and how much negativity was behind it. And so, I think being a part of that narrative in that situation is very important. She definitely was influential through her lifetime, and a lot of people watched that show, including myself, at some point when I was growing up. So, for that, rest in peace, Betty White. You got anything to say about her?
Somebody said that she didn't die. She sacrificed herself to take the rest of 2021 with her. I thought that was fun. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but what a jerk.
She died December 31st, I think. So instead of she passed away like she had a stroke or something. So instead of that, she was just like, "Fuck you, 2020," and punched death in the face, and then took both the crappy year that was last year and death with her. Like she sacrificed herself. She didn't die. She took an L.
Nobody needed that explanation.
No.
That shit was not funny. It was weak as shit.
I thought it was funny.
Whoever said it, I'm not with it. I bet you did think it was funny.
I thought it was
Next, funny. Fired. Anyway, I can't fire my co-host. Lastly, rest in peace to Sidney Poitier. I'm pretty young, and I know Mobius is even younger than me, probably to even appreciate his contributions. But I do remember a movie that I grew up on that I had to find the name of. I think it was With Love, Mr. Something. So it was a movie about him being a hard ass teacher to some badass kids. And I remember seeing that movie and fucking crying, bro, because these kids were bad as shit. And he won the respect of these kids. He was fucking hard on them, and he really taught, like, he put his foot in their ass, but taught them like with motherfucking love, bro. Like, this world is fucked up, but you cannot let it take you with it. And so that shit was mad deep. Like, I just gotta say, that movie was deep. And, you know, shout out to the writer and the director and all of that. But he did a fucking excellent job as a teacher. And I gotta say, you know, shout out to Mr. Dieterle. Shout out to Ms. Northfield. Shout out to the very few teachers. And I had more teachers than that. But Mr. Blanford, you know, shout out to very few teachers that I had in my entire life that were like really great teachers. They were really great teachers. Like, no matter how dumb you were or no matter how uninterested you were, they did everything in their motherfucking power to relate to you and to help you find interest in school, in what they were teaching. Like, to help you find interest, to help you find the level of importance, like the necessity, how it actually will affect your future positively, like why you need to use this shit. Because I feel like a lot of teachers just be like, oh, I'm not teaching you for my motherfucking health. It's like, okay, but you teaching me for a paycheck. Like, these teachers really, you know. And then there's the other teachers who got that whole other attitude of like, I'm gonna get paid whether you learn this shit or not. Like, I've had all types of teachers, bro. And shout out to my psychology teacher, bro. I cannot remember this man's name. My AP, well, actually my psychology and my AP psychology teacher. Because one was a white lady and one was a black man with dreads. And, like, everybody made fun of him. And it was like, it was a really crazy situation. So, shout out to both of them, bro. Like, on everything I love. I really appreciate it. And, you know, I'm just so absolutely blessed. I'm just so absolutely blessed. And yeah, it's just a wonderful thing when you have a good teacher in your life. So that's it. I just want to end the Unknown Unknowns laboratory with thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching us on Twitch if you want to watch us on Twitch. Thanks for watching us on YouTube for the people who catching this up on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed the bullshit that we had going on in the background. Again, neither one of us play Fortnite. So it was really we just in here bullshitting, you know. But, you know, we really appreciate, man, all 20 subscribers and just for fucking with us, man, for real. Like, you know, rest in peace 2021 and everybody who went with it. And, you know, keep your head up, man. Keep your head up for 2022, no matter what. It ain't going to be easy, but it's only January. So just stay strong. We got this shit.
What a fucking year.
And, yeah. Huh? What you say?
I said, what a fucking year.
Yeah, what a fucking year. Hit us up. We'll see y'all in the next episode. If you got some shit to say, throw that shit in the comments. If you like it, if you don't like it, you already know. Hit the thumbs up. Fuck with it. Subscribe. Don't subscribe. It is what it is. Just,
if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it.
Oh my fucking goodness. And you gonna end my show with that shit. Anyway, alright, man. This guy, fucking Mobius the Oreo, losing his mind.
I gotta go to work. Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining the 100. That's like 250s combined.
What happened? Y'all know what happened. Y'all heard what happened. I said I wasn't gonna do it. Niggas knew I was capping. Crazy, crazy, shit crazy. Crazy, 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 shit crazy. Y'all couldn't wait for this shit to drop. I ain't got no rap friends left cause all this shit I pop. I don't. And if y'all know me, y'all know I don't give a fuck. I'm cool with not being cool with niggas, so listen up. What happened? Y'all know what happened. Y'all heard what happened. I said I wasn't gonna do it. Niggas knew I was capping. Crazy, crazy, shit crazy. Crazy, 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 shit crazy. Y'all couldn't wait for this shit to drop. I ain't got no rap friends left cause all this shit I pop. I don't. And if y'all know me, y'all know I don't give a fuck. I'm cool with not being cool with niggas, so listen up.